तत्परम्पर्याय विद्महे ज्ञानलिङ्गेश्वराय धीमहि तन्नो गुरुः प्रचोदयात्। ओम योग महर्षि डॉक्टर स्वामी गीतानंद गिरि गुरु महाराज की जय। Namaste, Vanakkam, Swagatam, and welcome back to another session, our morning sessions here in Pondicherry. And pardon the fact that I'm starting a bit early today and ending a bit early. I have to be at our university to teach a class, the first class in the morning for the medical students, where I'm teaching them about yoga, especially pranayama and meditation or dhyana, and how these are applicable from a scientific perspective and other things. So a good opportunity to share with young doctors in the making. So I have taken it up, and so pardon this earlier start for those who didn't get advance notice. I also was up early this morning. I think it was 4:30 or 4:40 I got up, because had to be online to give a special session for my dearest Larry Payne, my big brother in yoga in North America. And he has a Prime of Life yoga for those after 50 program going on, and it is a privilege that he invited me to give a session on yoga and aging. And so I was up early this morning, meeting some wonderful fellow human beings and sharing with them. Had a short cycle and have got back here in time to be with all of you. I just want to tell you all that I very dearly appreciate your being with me, and to come online and see all of you there and share with you. I think it's such a beautiful privilege, and the message of sharing is caring is spreading, and that really gladdens my heart. And again, yesterday I realized even more than ever that the more you give, the more comes back. Gargi, normally my sessions are 7:30 in the morning Indian time. Today I started 10 minutes earlier, as I said, because I had to be at the university. Today we are also starting the Yantra Vidya Navangam, 9 online sessions that will explore the knowledge about Yantra, that beautiful part of the Gitananda tradition. And for the past 2 decades I have been sharing it only with those who come to the ashram. And as you know, we do not take too many people into the ashram, and that is why this is the first time it is actually being shared much more widely, and overwhelming response. So makes me realize how responsibility becomes more when people come into such a program. So we are going to have a wonderful exploration. I've done my best to prepare. I think I prepared more than I prepared for the last 6-7 years at least for teaching Yantra. So creating more notes, creating a nice PowerPoint, bringing the concepts together. So it's been good for me. Each time you teach, what happens is that it refines your thought process. So over the past 68 days, today is the 69th, sharing like this in the morning has actually refined my thought process. So you have all been part of the experiment. You have all been the guinea pigs of this experiment. And I have been the guinea pig of your experiment, right? Isn't this a very beautiful one? And that we are the guinea pigs of our own experiment. That is the difference between modern science that uses guinea pigs that are Whereas in yoga, we are the guinea pig of our own experiment that enhances our own experience. And I think that is such a beautiful concept that you are experimenting on yourself, which is actually a wonderful way. The pioneers of science, most of the time they experimented on themselves, and many of them lost their lives because of it. And those were people for whom science was the highest thing that they could stand for. And they didn't mind sacrificing their life on the altar of science. Nowadays, scientists are more interested in doing it on others with safety precaution so that they don't get affected. There are still some great people in science. I'm not demeaning science at all. But as in any field, I was looking at some scientific reports on hydroxychloroquine and its use, and it's quite interesting. As one of my friends, Dr. Chetan Shatwati in UK said, haste makes waste, especially in science. And the haste with which a lot of this research has been done has actually negated any potential benefits. With those thoughts for the day, let's get into Surya Prana Mudra. Surya is the sun. And the sun is not just a big ball of gas. Okay? The sun is the source of energy. It is the source of energy that enables life to spring forth. And the beautiful names of the sun, I think it's worth chanting them because they are so beautiful. Om Mitraya Namaha. Om Ravaye Namaha. Om Suryaya Namaha. Om Bhanabhe Namaha. Om Kagaya Namaha. Om Pushne Namaha. Om Hiranyagarbhaya Namaha. Om Marichaye Namaha. Om Adityaye Namaha. Om Savitve Namaha. Om Arkaya Namaha. Om Bhaskara Namaha. Om. Indian culture has venerated the sun as a manifest symbol of divinity. We all have a sense of connecting to something greater than us, and that we often term as the divinity. And different cultures have perceived that divinity in their own form, which is why the god that is worshipped in different cultures will tend to look like that culture, have the dressing sense, the features, the color, and the language of that culture. Because that is a perception. We perceive the divine from our perspective of what we are. But the sun, as a physical manifestation of that divinity, has been part of many, many ancient cultures. If you think of the South American culture, you think of the African culture, even you think of the European in the sense of Greek and Roman, you look at all the Asian cultures, you look at the culture down in Kiwi land. I really enjoy my time down in Kiwi land because in New Zealand, they have that similar concept that we have of Purusha Prakriti. It's very beautiful. And that masculine and feminine, the sky and the earth, and this coming together of the father and the mother giving birth to us. Such a beautiful concept. All cultures have had that. And the sun has always played an important role because the sun for us is a manifest symbol of divinity, something that symbolizes order. In the most chaotic world also, the two things that seem to be quite certain are the sun is going to rise and the sun is going to set. So the fact that the sun is going to rise and the sun is going to set, that certainty gives us a sense of stability in the most turbulent times also. The sun is going to be there. The sun has come up. Another day. And that is why great importance was given to the rising sun. Suryodayam. The Udaya, the rising of the sun. When the sun is rising, we have that Usha Prana. It is a specialized energy that is present in the early morning sun. People have talked about it, whether it is UV light and other things. That is, again, a perspective from a scientific angle, trying to find modern terms to explain the ancient concept. But for reality's sake, I like to call it the Usha Prana. This Usha Prana is a life-giving energy that is there in the morning sun. If you look at Indian culture, even while many parts of the world were still thinking the earth was flat and that you could fall off the corners of the earth, the four corners, that's where the idea came. The four corners of the earth. If it is a globe, there are no corners. And that is why only if you think the earth is flat that you can think of corners. Even in times when people thought the earth was the center of the solar system and everything went around the earth, even in those times, Indian culture understood the sun to be the center of all. The concept of Nava Graha, the 9 celestial influences, starts with the sun. And that is why we chant Namah Suryaya Somaya Mangalaya Budhaya Cha Guru Shukra Shanibhacha Raghabe Ketabhe Namaha. It all starts with sun. Namah Suryaya Somaya Mangalaya Budhaya Cha Guru Shukra Shanibhacha Raghabe Ketabhe Namaha. The sun as the center. And if you go to any South Indian temple, you'll find the Navagraha, the 9 idols representing these 9 celestial influences. People translate them as 9 planets. They are not all planets because it includes the sun, moon, and 2 psychic influences. So only 5 planets, and the other 4 are non-planets. The sun as the center of the solar system was understood by the culture. And what is the center of us? Our solar plexus. If you were to lie down and you were to think of what would be your center, it would be the solar plexus. And that is why the energy of the cosmos comes in through the solar plexus and then spreads into the rest of the body. This solar plexus is connected to the solar system and the solar energy. So when we are doing the Surya Prana Mudra, what are we doing? We are trying to open up our heart, and we open up the heart and we spread the hands forward. Why are we spreading the hands forward? Because the hands are very sensitive receptors. For those who have been with me on the 69-day journey, you will remember that we have talked about how the hands are represented in the sensory motor homunculus, and the hands and the face have the greatest amount of representation in both sensory and motor homunculus. That is the amount of sensation that is here, because you need to have very fine sensation in the hands and the face and very fine motor movements in the hands and the face. That is why that representation disproportionate to the rest of the body. It's a disproportionate representation. If you look at the sensory motor homunculus. Those homunculi, the hands and the face are much, much bigger with huge lips and tongue, because this is the most important part. The lips especially, and the tongue for the motor, because we talk so much. Swamiji used to call excessive talking as verbal diarrhea. And a lot of people are guilty of that. It just keeps coming and it's a waste. So you have to make sure that what you say has some sense and is useful to someone. That is a question I always ask myself when I talk too much. When we are spreading the hands like this, and we are creating a very beautiful photo frame, this photo frame is for the sun. Okay? And the fingers are together, not like this. I hate this. And modern yoga has a lot of this. And they claim because they are spreading the interosseous muscles. Okay, fine. But seriously, this is such an apranic mudra. Aprana, loss of energy. And you're just losing energy. This is where prana comes together. That is why all Indian deities have the Abhaya Mudra. They could have been doing this, or this, or all these things that people want to do. All the modern mutations of mudras. I'm not going to tell you the one that is very common, especially when you're upset. Fingers together. Okay, so let me not see you doing this type of stuff. See, do this when you want to work those muscles, I don't care. But other than that, why do this and waste your energy? Energy, conservation of energy. Okay? So when you are doing from the heart, it's coming from the heart. You are connecting your heart center. You are connecting the heart. You're opening the heart up to the universal energy that is coming through the sun. Let that prana of the cosmos, let that prana come into your heart. This is the center of the heart. This is the center of the prana. The heart is the center of the prana. Hridi prano gude apana is how it is described. Prana is here. So what we want to do, we want to bring the universal prana into us. And we want to connect our prana with the universe. This is a heart-to-heart communication. Surya Prana Mudra is a heart-to-heart communication with the sun, with the solar energy. It is not just good for your shoulders. It is good for your shoulders, okay? It is good for your hands, your wrists, and your elbows. Yeah, for God's sake, yes. But what is more important is you are communing with the solar energy. You as a solar being are communicating with Surya himself, itself. In the divine, is it him, her, it? For itself is safer option. What are we doing? Breathing in, stretching forward, the sun is framed, and we blink. It is very important to blink. When you blink like this, there's a very beautiful chance of that light to really, really get into you. And blinking is good for us because we are always looking at the mobile screen and the computer screen. So when we blink like this, what it does is that it helps all the muscles to relax. So you are relaxing your eye muscles and you are also letting that early morning light come in. So much is happening, okay? Now, just make sure when you're doing this, people know what you're doing. Otherwise, they'll think that you have gone mad. Okay? Yes, there's a question. Sophia, Surya Prana Mudra before or after the asana practice? It is to be done when the sun is rising and before the sun goes about 30, 40 degrees. Don't let it go too high, it becomes too bright. So just after sunrise and before the sun light becomes too bright. That is a point. Whatever point you are in your asana practice, please put it into that. Okay? So it depends on that. Again, early morning light. So now if you cannot do it for any reason in the early morning light, have maybe an image of the sun and try to do it and visualize the rising sun. But the best is always a rising sun just as it's coming up. That soft early morning sun. That is what we want to invoke. Okay, so you're doing this, you are blinking. And the sunlight, the Usha Prana from the sunlight is coming onto your palms, those receptors. And through those receptors is coming into your whole nervous system. And your whole nervous system is getting energized by that. Okay? Now, along with this, We add now. One is, as I said yesterday, we can just do the in and the out. Now what we are going to do? We are going to add in Savitri Pranayama. Savitri is that energy of the sun, the early morning sun. Savitri and Gayatri are synonymous. Sunrise for sure, Manjari. Sunrise is the best time, just as the sun is rising. Suryodayam is the most best moment. Not at sunset. Sunset, the energy is the opposite. It is a declining energy. We do not want a declining energy. We want an energy that is living and giving light, not darkness. That is why the sunset is not really a good time to do this. The energies are very different. The Usha Prana is only at sunrise, not at sunset. So we are adding the Savitri Pranayama, Savitu, Tat Savitur Varenyam, as the Gayatri mantra tells us. We want to invoke that Savitri, Savitu. Okay? So we add the Savitri Pranayama. So let's do a couple of rounds of this today before I run off to give my class for the young to-be doctors, the medical students, on a bit of physiological aspects of yoga. What about the full moon rising? I like that question, Gargi. One thing was, Swamiji wasn't really in favor of moon gazing because he felt the lunar energy had a tendency to tip us off balance. And if you understand lunacy and lunatics, I can understand Swamiji's perspective that the sun is a very different energy, the moon is a very different energy, because the moon is a reflected light. It doesn't matter even if it's full moon or whatever, it is still reflected light. It is not light that comes from itself. That is why the mind is equated with the moon. That our mind is only a reflection. It is not self-luminescent, self-luminous. It's not self-luminous like the moon. Whereas the sun is self-luminous. So there is a difference between focusing on the sun and the moon. However, there is a Chandra Namaskar, and definitely at the moon, the full moon also, you can worship the full moon with prayers, and there are songs, Om Chandra Shri Chandra Shukla Chandra Om, Purna Chandra Krishna Chandra Shukla Chandra Om. And today is also a full moon day, so you can sing to the moon. So it's interesting we are talking about it today. That's why we are starting the yantra on the full moon today. I wanted that a very special energy because the moon is cyclic and we wanted that energy to be part of it. But normally for contemplation, Swamiji advised that the sun is a better contemplative source. Patanjali does say you can do samyama on the moon. Chandre Tara Vyuha Jnanam. You can understand the constellations, and pass on my love to Max for his birthday today. Pass on my love to him. And yesterday, Sundarajan Narayanan, you missed a chance to get wished in person. We missed you. I sent you a happy birthday, but I will give you a belated happy birthday today. And any of your birthdays that I've missed, happy birthday to everyone. Okay. Any tips during the full moon day? Keep cool. You have to be careful because the energies are very strong on a full moon, and many people, go a bit wolfy on those days. So just be a bit careful. Keep yourself grounded. Lot of power in the full moon. There's lot of power, and someday I'll talk about that. That we did some research long back, and during full moon and new moon, the influence is very strong on our nostril patterns, the Swara Yoga patterns. So yes. Okay, let's do a few rounds of this. Hands at the chest, Namaskar. Breathing out. Breathe in. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold. 2, 3. Out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold. 2, 3. In. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold. 2, 3. Out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold. 2, 3. In, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold, 2, 3. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold, 2. Please start to use this Surya Prana Mudra whenever possible. Remember, Suryodaya is a very important time in Indian culture, and it was always felt that we should be there to welcome the morning sun and say, "Good morning, sun." Uh, I remember when I was in medical school, and when you study in those atmospheres, you tend to study late night. And there was one point in my life, really an odd point, where the whole night I would be studying, and in the morning I'd see the sunrise come up, say namaste to the sun, and go to sleep. So it was the reverse of the total reverse. Medical students have the worst diet, the worst lifestyle. In fact, seriously, we are supposed to be healthcare professionals. And I tell you, the worst diet would be in the medical school hostels. All the junk food we used to eat, and seriously, the timings we ate, and similarly also with the lifestyle. But I remember especially during our exam times, because other times of day you would be disturbed by people. So, yes, mugs. I remember my friend Sadbir Khalsa is saying medical school is a boot camp. You have to really be tough to survive that boot camp. But it used to be amazing. I used to just laugh at the irony of it, that I used to say namaste to the sun. I don't remember if I did a Surya Namaskar and then went to sleep, which would have been so yogic. But now, see, the thing is, the sun, and this is why all cultures, until we discovered electricity, we rose with the sun and we went to sleep when it went down. So we were in that circadian rhythm. And then the moment electricity came in and artificial light came in, we have really, our whole pineal gland has atrophied because of artificial light. And whenever I go through especially the Dubai airport, all airports are like that, but Dubai especially, when you are inside the Dubai airport, you have no idea whether it is day, night, or anything. And seriously, anybody who's working there or who's staying there on a long time, there is no way they can have a normal circadian rhythm. And this has been one of the big issues, that we haven't realized how important the circadian rhythm is. Sleep-wake cycle and activity-rest cycle, which maybe I'll talk about at another occasion. But anyway, thank you for being with me. For those of you who are on the Yantra course with me, I have sent out the Zoom link. I have sent out the handouts. If you haven't got it, please email me today and I'll send them again. I don't think any emails have bounced, except with Helen. You better check your email, because one of the emails bounces and then I use the other one. But in case you haven't got it, or anybody, please do private message me or send it to me, and we'll keep it going. So looking forward to a wonderful start today of 3 weeks of beautiful studies. Namaste.